Hello friends, this is Viraj and I welcome you all to this session where we will be discussing today's paper of UPSC Prelims. Alright, तो पहला सेक्शन हम लोग जो देखने वाले हैं that is of polity. तो polity के क्वेश्चंस देखना शुरू करते हैं guys. Alright, so first question of polity is question number 7 from set D. ठीक है, तो we are taking into consideration set D. बाकी जो सेट्स है you have to know कि सारे सेट्स में क्वेश्चन सेम ही है. what is different is sequencing is different. तो आप क्वेश्चंस के थ्रू आंसर्स देख सकते हो. अगर आपका कोई दूसरा सेट भी है तो आप क्वेश्चंस को कंसीडर करते हुए, क्वेश्चंस को देखते हुए अपने आंसर्स यहां से चेक कर सकते हो. ऑलराइट, तो सेट डी में क्वेश्चन नंबर 7 इज ऑफ पॉलिटी. The question reads, consider the following statements. According to the Constitution of India, the central government has a duty to protect states from internal disturbance. Yes, both from internal and external disturbance. It is mentioned in Article 355 of the Constitution. Second statement is the Constitution of India exempts the state from providing legal counsel to a person being held for preventive detention. Absolutely correct. With respect to punitive detention, state has to provide legal counsel. With respect to preventive ना state के पास exemption है. That is what the Constitution says. Third statement, according to POTA, that is Prevention of Terrorism Act 2002, confession of accused before the police cannot be used as evidence. This statement is wrong. देखो, in normal circumstances under Indian Evidence Act, what happens is confession to police is not considered as evidence, but POTA के अंदर वो provision है जहां पे if the police officer is of the rank of superintendent of police, then statement given to him can be used as evidence. So confession given to him can be used as evidence. So यहाँ पे statement 3 is wrong. Statement 1 and 2 are correct. So our answer will be B, only 2. Moving on to question number 10. Question number 10 from set D. Consider the following statement in respect to the election to President of India. The members nominated to either house of the parliament or legislative assemblies of the states are also eligible to be included in electoral college. Absolutely not. They are not included in the electoral college. Higher number of seats, higher number of elective assembly seats, higher in value of vote. एक minute, let me rephrase this question. Higher the number of elective assembly seats, higher is the value of votes of each MLA of that state. No. There are instances जहां पे state में assembly seats are more, but they do not correspond to value of the votes. ठीक है? Value of the votes is not dependent upon, value of the votes in presidential election is not dependent upon the number of assembly seats in the states. Third statement, the value of vote of each MLA of Pondicherry is higher than that of Arunachal Pradesh because the ratio of the total population to the number of elective seats in Pondicherry is greater as compared to Arunachal. With respect to this statement number 3 here is correct. All right, value of the votes of MLAs from Pondicherry is actually more than Arunachal Pradesh. All right, so statement 3 is correct. If we consider, so only one statement here is correct, right? So answer A will be the answer. Moving on to question number 24. Consider the following statements in respect of National Flag of India according to the Flag Code 2002. Alright, this question is not of polity. I am so sorry. We'll come to 25. This question will be taken in some other section. Don't worry about that. Question number 25. Consider the following statements in respect of Constitution Day. First statement, the Constitution Day is celebrated on 26 November every year to promote constitutional values amongst the citizens. Yes, this is correct. Second statement, on 26 November 1949, the Constituent Assembly of India set up drafting committee under the chairmanship of Dr. B.R. Ambedkar to prepare a draft Constitution of India. No, 26 November 1949 is important because on that particular day, what happened was our Constitution was adopted by the Constituent Assembly. Constitution was adopted by the Constituent Assembly. Moving on to the next question, that is question number 41. With reference to Home Guard, consider the following statements. Home Guard are raised under Home Guard Act and rules of central government. No. Home Guard के ऊपर jurisdiction is of the state government. First statement is wrong. Second statement, The role of home guard is to serve as auxiliary force to police in maintenance of internal security, right? Third statement, to prevent infiltration to prevent infiltration on international borders, coastal areas, the border wing home guard battalions have been raised by some states. Yes, they have been raised. So first statement is wrong, other two statements are right. So our answer is, though the answer should be only two statements are right. ठीक है, only two statements are right. देखो, this time UPSC has avoided questions ki statement 1 is correct, 2 is correct. What they have done is they have asked you to locate कि कितने statements right है और उसी के हिसाब से आपको आंसर देना कितने statement correct है. So these questions के through these questions what is happening is elimination technique is going out of the window, straight out of the window. ठीक है. Moving on to question number 42. क्वेश्चन नंबर 42 अगर हम लोग देखें, तो फर्स्ट इज unauthorized wearing of police or military uniforms. Yes, it is. This is covered under Official Secrets Act 1932. Knowingly misleading or otherwise interfering in a police officer or military officer with a police officer or military officer when engaged in their duty, Indian Evidence Act 1872. No, it is also covered by Official Secrets Act. It is also covered by second statement is also covered by Official Secrets Act. Third, celebratory gunfire when which can endanger personal safety of others. Third statement is correct. The act is also correct. So two matches are correct over here, 1 and 3. So our answer will be B. Moving on. In essence, what does due process of law means? In essence, due process of law means that the law should follow principle of natural justice. All right, it should follow principle of natural justice. Come on, let us move on to question number 92 now. All right, question number 92 we have. Consider the following statements. Statement 1. In India, prisons are managed by state governments with their own rules and regulations for day-to-day administration. The statement is absolutely correct according to the Prisons Act. Second statement. In India, prisons are governed by Prisons Act 1894, which expressly kept the subject of prisons in the control of provisional government. Yes, this is also correct. In fact, the term prison that is defined in Indian Prisons Act 1894 specifically states that the administration of the prisons should be in the hands of provincial governments or the state governments. So what we see here is both statements are correct, and statement 2 in fact is the correct explanation of statement 1. Statement 2 is the correct explanation of statement 1. Hence our answer here will be A. All right, it will be A. Chalo. 93 statement question देख लेते हैं. Question number 93. Which one of the following statements reflects the chief purpose of constitution of any country? देखो, this is a very conceptual question, and in fact I have discussed it many a times with the students and also on our Telegram group. All right, so what constitution primarily does is limits the government. All right, it limits the government. It is a very conceptual question. In fact, it is only, you can say, extension of what UPSC has been asking for many years. और ये क्वेश्चन सिर्फ फॉर्म में नया है, इसका कोर जो है वही है जो पहले भी यूपीएससी पूछ चुका है कि भाई कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन का मतलब क्या और कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन क्यों नेसेसरी है. इट हैज बीन आस्क्ड प्रीवियसली आल्सो इन प्रीलिम्स. 94 क्वेश्चन देख लेंगे हम लोग अभी. ओके, 94 क्वेश्चन नंबर 94. इन इंडिया which one of the following constitutional amendment was widely believed to be enacted to overcome judicial interpretation of the fundamental rights? Now this is a very tricky question क्योंकि you may be persuaded to mark first amendment because what first amendment did was it brought in 9 schedule जिसने एक तरह से पर्दा लगा दिया with respect to judicial intervention. But the right answer here is 42nd amendment. 42nd amendment was brought to undo the judgment of Keshavananda Bharati case. All right, and take away judicial review powers of the Supreme Court. All right, or to limit the judicial review power of Supreme Court. So it is 42nd amendment. Judicial review power को limit करने से क्या होता है? Judicial intervention in fundamental rights would have got limited. तो 42nd Constitutional Amendment Act is the right answer. Our option, correct option is option B. चलो आगे बढ़ा जाए. 95 देख लेते हैं. 95 question is missing. I'm so sorry. Let us see 96. Question number 96 देखते हैं. Consider the following statements. If the election of the President of India is declared to be void by the Supreme Court of India, all acts done by him, her, in performance of duties of his, her office of President before the date of decision become invalid. Absolutely not. This statement is wrong. All right, this statement is absolutely wrong. Constitution जो है specifically mentions कि अगर president का election जो है वो invalid declare किया जाता है, तो it does not in any way mean कि the acts done by him before invalidation of his election, जो decisions उन्होंने लिए हैं till the date that the election is decided to be invalid, वो decision अपने आप में wrong है. ऐसा बिल्कुल नहीं है. It is specifically mentioned in the Constitution. All right. Article 71 in fact mentions it specifically. Statement number 2. The election for the post of the President of India can be postponed on the grounds that some legislative assemblies have been dissolved and elections are yet to take place. No. Again, this statement is wrong because vacancy in electoral college does not call for extension of election of the President of India. All right, again something that is mentioned in Article 71. When a bill is presented to the President of India, the Constitution prescribes time limit within which she has to declare his or her assent. No. Okay. Third statement is also wrong. So our answer here is D. Moving on now. Question number 97. Consider the following with reference to finance bill and money bill in the Indian Parliament. Consider the following statements. When the Lok Sabha transmits finance bill to Rajya Sabha, it can amend or reject the bill. No, it can recommend amendment but not amend or reject the bill. All right. Article 117 mentions the same. Statement 2. When the Lok Sabha transmits money bill to Rajya Sabha, it cannot amend or reject the bill. It can only make recommendation. Yes, this particular statement is correct. Article 110. Then statement 3, in case of disagreement between Lok Sabha and the Rajya Sabha, there is no joint sitting of money bill, but joint sitting becomes necessary for finance bill. Okay, 97 question. With respect to money bill, joint sitting cannot take place, but with respect to finance bill, finance bill also joint sitting will not be permitted. All right, finance bill में भी जैसे कि annual financial statement है, our annual financial statement, that is budget, that is also a finance bill. So what we see is statement 3 is incorrect. So our answer will be B. Only 2. Moving on. Question number 99, because question 98 is of ecology, so we will see question 99. With reference to schedule area in India, consider the following statements. Within a state, the notification of an area as schedule area takes place through the order of President of India. Yes, correct. The largest administrative unit forming the schedule area is the district and the lowest is the cluster of villages in a block. Yes, this statement is also correct. The Chief Minister of the concerned states are required to submit annual report to Union Home Ministry on administration of schedule area in the state. It is not Chief Minister, it is the Governor. All right, it is Governor and the report is sent to President of India. All right, the third statement is incorrect. First and second statement are correct. So our answer is B. All right. Now moving on to the last question of Indian polity. Last question of Indian polity. Okay. Consider the following statement. Statement 1. Supreme Court of India has held in some judgments that reservation policy made under Article 16(4) of the Constitution will be limited by Article 335 for maintenance of efficiency and administration. Statement 1 is correct. Statement 1 is absolutely correct. Statement 2. Article 335 of the Constitution of India defines efficiency of administration. No, it does not define efficiency. Alright, 335 में efficiency नाम का ऐसा कुछ दिया हुआ नहीं है, तो statement 1 is correct, statement 2 is incorrect, और answer therefore is C. Answer therefore is C. Alright, so we are done with Indian polity, guys. Moving on to the next section, and the next section is of international relations. So international relations also we see being part of prelims, and in a big way, I may say. Okay. Chalo. Okay, the first question of international relations is question number 8. Which of the following countries have been suffering? Which of the following countries have been suffering for decades of civil strife and food shortages and was in news in recent past for its very severe famine? The answer is Somalia. The answer is Somalia. Alright, the country has been in news for the famine that it has been facing. Chali. Now let us move to the next question, that is question number 29. Remember guys, this alright, question number 27 also we have to see. Remember guys, this sequencing is with respect to series D. Alright, it is with respect to series D. Okay, consider the following statements. Statement 1. Recently, the United States of America and European Union have launched the Trade and Technology Council. Yes, this statement is absolutely correct. Statement 1 is correct. Statement 2, the US and the European Union claim that through this, they are trying to bring technological progress and physical productivity under their control. Control, this word is problematic. Alright, they are trying to collaborate. In a way, they are trying to collaborate. Alright. So control in the sense they're trying to have, a bigger say. In that way, it is correct. Alright, so what we will do is statement 1 and 2, in a way, both we will consider to be correct. Alright, statement 1 and statement 2 both are correct. And statement 2 basically can be said to be the correct explanation of statement 1. Alright, this is the reason now. Statement 2 is the reason why statement 1 has been brought into existence. So what we will do is, we'll mark A to be the right answer. We'll mark A to be the right answer. Okay, moving on. चलो, क्वेश्चन नंबर 29 देखते हैं. The Stability and Growth Pact of the European Union is a treaty that limits the level of budgetary deficit of the countries of European Union, makes the countries of European Union to share their infrastructure and facilities, enable the countries of European Union to share their technologies. All right. It is strictly limited to deficits. All right, budgetary and fiscal deficits. So it is trying to make European countries of European Union more responsive to the economic realities. So what we see is only one is correct. Chalo, moving on now. Question number 30. Moving on to question number 30. Consider the following statements. Recently, all the countries of United Nations have adopted the first ever compact for international migration, the global compact for safe, orderly and regular migration. Question number 30. The first statement, basically देखो, the first statement in a way is not correct, because all the countries of UN obviously have not taken this into consideration and taken up this particular record. Second statement, the objectives and commitments stated in GCM are binding. No, they are not binding. The GCM addresses internal migration and internally displaced people also in its objectives and commitments. Statement 3 is correct. It takes into consideration migration in a holistic way. It takes into consideration migration in a very holistic way. So what we see is statement 3 to be correct, and hence our right answer will be only one statement is correct. All right. Chalo. Sorry. Okay. This question is more of mapping based, mapping with the emphasis of knowing current affairs. चलो पहला स्टेटमेंट, पहला क्वेश्चन देख रहे हैं. 43 फॉलोइंग पेयर्स, फेयर्स एंड रीजन्स वेयर दे बिलोंग टू. नॉर्थ किकू एंड Ituri. No, this is not correct. In fact, these two places belong to Congo, the country of Congo. Second one, this is of course in the Caucasus. In fact, this is the reason, these regions are the reasons why there is problem between Armenia and Azerbaijan. Then Kherson and Zaporizhzhia. Again, these statements, again, these two particular places do not form the dispute between Israel and Lebanon. In fact, none of them are correctly matched. Our answer therefore is D. ठीक है, चलो coming on to question number 47. Statement 1, Israel has established diplomatic relations with some states. Yes, famously with Egypt and Jordan. Okay. Statement 2, the Arab Peace Initiative mediated by Saudi Arabia was signed by Israel and Arab League. Yes, Saudi Arabia had mediated the same. Statement 1 is correct, statement 2 is correct, but both are not in a way related to each other. Alright, so our answer will be B. चलो आगे बढ़ते हैं. 47. In the recent year, Chad, Guyana, Mali and Sudan caught the international attention for which one of the following reason common to all of them. What happened in all of them? Successful military coups happened in all of them. Alright, successful military coups had happened in all of them. Moving on to question number 48. 48 is done. Moving on to question number 50. Okay. Consider the following statements about G20. The G20 group was originally established as a platform for finance ministers and central bank governors to discuss international economy and financial issues. Yes, शुरुआत में यही हुआ. शुरुआत में there were G7 countries. G7 even would exist today, but after financial crisis they thought we should include more countries for discussion on economy and for discussion on international finance and economy. So then the G20 in a way brought together leaders of the world to discuss upon or to take attention of economic situations. Digital public infrastructure is one of India's G20 priorities. Absolutely, it is one of the six priorities that India has stated. So both these statements are correct, right? So our answer will be C. और आंसर विल बी सी, बोथ 1 and 2। ठीक है, आगे बढ़ते हैं। ओके, डन, वी आर डन विथ IR also। Now let us move on to governance। गवर्नेंस के क्वेश्चन देखते हैं। ओके, चलिए शुरू करते हैं विद गवर्नेंस। क्वेश्चन नंबर 4 इन सेट डी इज ऑफ गवर्नेंस। ठीक है, consider the following statements। The self-help group program was originally initiated by the State Bank of India by providing microcredit to financially deprived। It was not State Bank, it was actually NABARD। And Seva was the NGO जिसकी हेल्प उसने ली। Statement 2, in an SCG all members of the groups take responsibility of a loan that an individual member takes। Statement 2 is absolutely correct and that is actually the essence of SCG। Statement 3, regional rural banks and commercial and scheduled commercial banks support SCG। Absolutely, all right, 2 statements are correct, our answer therefore is B। चलो, consider the following statements। क्वेश्चन नंबर 5 है, consider the following statements। First, India's public healthcare system largely focuses on curative care with limited preventive, promotive and rehabilitative care। Absolutely right। देखो ये सब भी है, preventive, promotive, rehabilitative भी है, but that is not focused much on, much focus is on curative। अगर डिसीज हो गया तो उसके बाद क्या करना है, उस पर हम लोग ज्यादा फोकस करते हैं। Statement 2, under India's decentralized approach to healthcare delivery, the states are primarily responsible for organizing health services। एकदम सही स्टेटमेंट है, दोनों स्टेटमेंट करेक्ट है, बट बोथ आर इन अ वे नॉट रिलेटेड टू ईच अदर। कॉज इफेक्ट रिलेशन नहीं बन रहा है ना, सो और आंसर विल बी बी, और आंसर विल बी बी। चलो आगे बढ़ते हैं अगेन, क्वेश्चन नंबर 6 की तरफ चलते हैं, ओ सॉरी क्वेश्चन नंबर 31 की तरफ चलते हैं। ओके, क्वेश्चन नंबर 31, consider the following statements in relation to Janani Suraksha Yojana। It is a safe motherhood initiative by the state health departments। No, it is not by state health departments, it is by National Rural Health Mission। ठीक है, नेक्स्ट स्टेटमेंट देखते हैं, स्टेटमेंट 2 देखते हैं। The objective is to reduce maternal and neonatal mortality amongst poor pregnant women। Yes, this is the primary objective। It aims to promote institutional delivery among poor pregnant women। Yes, again। Fourth, its objective includes providing public health facilities to sick infants up to the age of 1। This particular statement, that is statement 4, statement 4 is incorrect। All right, what it does is provide help to pregnant women and also to sick infants। Not only just sick infant but also pregnant women and sick infant। क्या देख रहे हैं हम लोग, 2 स्टेटमेंट सही है, तो और आंसर विल बी बी, और आंसर विल बी बी। क्वेश्चन 32, क्वेश्चन 32, consider the following statements in context of intervention being undertaken under anemia mukt bharat strategy। It provides for prophylactic calcium supplements for preschool children, adolescents and pregnant women। यहाँ पे ना ये कैल्शियम नहीं है, ये आयरन है। So first statement is wrong। Second statement it runs a campaign for delayed cord clamping at the time of childbirth। Yes, the statement is correct। Third statement, it provides for periodic deworming of children and adolescents। Yes, it addresses non-nutritional causes of anemia in endemic pockets with special focus on malaria and fluorosis. This statement is also correct. In fact, what we see is only statement 1 not being correct. So what we will do is 2, 3 and 4 are correct. So correct answer will be C. Correct answer will be C. Okay, let's move to question number 95. Consider the following organization bodies in India: the National Commission for Backward Classes, the National Human Rights Commission, National Law Commission, National Consumer Dispute Redressal Commission. All right, इसमें से हमें बताना है which how many of the above are constitutional body. Only one. तो our answer will be A. Sorry, only one is correct. सिर्फ National Commission for Backward Classes is a constitutional body. All right, chalo, we are done with governance. Now just we will take a look at two questions which are from the miscellaneous section, Okay, okay, 45 we have to see how many of the pairs are correctly matched. So first is Major Dhyanchand Khel Ratna Award for most spectacular and outstanding performance by sportsperson over the period of last 4 years. Absolutely correct. Arjun Award for lifetime achievement by a sportsperson. No, lifetime nahi. This is for active sportsperson. Dronacharya Award to honor eminent coaches who have successfully trained sportsperson or teams. Yes, correct. Rashtriya Khel Protsahan Puraskar to recognize contribution made by a sportsperson even after their retirement. This again is not correct. All right, because it is given to active sportsperson. Only active sportsperson, not after their retirement. So what we see is first statement is correct, third is correct. Our answer will be B. Last question from my side. Okay. Question number 46. Consider the following statement with respect to 44th Chess Olympiad 2022. It was the first time that Chess Olympiad was held in India. Absolutely correct. Yes, it is right. The official mascot was named Tambi. Yes. The trophy for winning team in open section is the Vera Menching Cup. No, this statement is wrong. In fact, what they have done is 3 और 4 को उन्होंने cups को interchange कर दिया. All right, that's it. So first two statements are right. Third and fourth statement are incorrect because उन्होंने कप्स को और उसके एरियाज को जिसमें वो जीते जाते हैं उनको इंटरचेंज कर दिया है. So what we will do is we'll mark B as the right answer. All right, friends. So this was from my side. Now Siddharth sir will take account of geography questions and he will let you know what the right answers are. Again, I am repeating. The question numbers over here correspond to set D. All right. जिनका अलग सेट है वो ये क्वेश्चंस देखने अपने आंसर्स को करेक्ट कर सकते हैं. Thank you so much.
आवाज आ रही है मेरी? आवाज आ रही है? क्लियर है? ओके. So guys, I hope you have enjoyed this paper. This paper seems to be a bit more towards a factual side, but I think that there are sufficient number of the questions which you can solve with your basic understanding also. So we are going to discuss about this set D, and all your numbers into this particular discussions, all the numbers of the question in this particular discussion will correspond to set D of the question paper, means set D of this UPSC paper. Okay, so let's start with the discussion, and this is our geography questions, and then we have this is about question number 6. Now look to the question number 6 that we have. ओके, सो थोड़ा सा बताएंगे कैसा गया पेपर आप लोगों का आज, कुछ ज्योग्राफी के क्वेश्चंस कैसे लगे आप लोगों को, और कैसा क्वेश्चंस का जो लेवल था आप लोगों का कैसा रहा, और आपने जो प्रिपरेशन करी थी वो किस हद तक आपके लिए हेल्पफुल रही इस बार के एग्जाम में. थोड़ा सा ज्योग्राफी के अंदर में क्वेश्चंस थोड़े से ट्रिकी पूछे हैं इन्होंने, इसमें कोई डाउट नहीं है, और कुछ क्वेश्चंस बहुत ज्यादा फैक्चुअल साइड पे चले गए हैं, और कुछ क्वेश्चंस बहुत हाईली डीप कॉन्सेप्ट्स पे बेस्ड हो गए, मतलब ऐसे कॉन्सेप्ट्स पूछे गए हैं जो जनरली हम कॉमन यूज के अंदर में नहीं लेते हैं. ओके, सो लुक टू द क्वेश्चन नंबर 6. just have a look to this question number 6. Consider the following statement. According to the United Nations World Development Report 2022, India has extract more than quarter of the world groundwater withdrawal each year. Okay, so this is your first statement. And the second statement is India's need to extract more than a quarter of the world groundwater each year to satisfy the drinking water and sanitation need of almost 18% of the world population living in its territory. Now, this ये जो थोड़ा सा क्वेश्चन है, it's very difficult to answer this question. Okay, because the statement first is very much clear. We are very much clear about the statement first that this is a perfectly correct statement because this is explicitly mentioned in the World Development Report. So we don't have any confusion related to the statement number 1. But the statement number 2, India needs to extract more than quarter of the world groundwater resources. That seems to be very, in my opinion, even if we do not get any such information related to these factual part of the statement 2. But in my opinion, this statement 2 seems to be very illogical. So we are not sure about the statement 2. We are not sure. We are going to place a star on this statement 2, but the statement 1 is 100% correct. Okay, so in my opinion that statement was first is correct and statement second seems to be incorrect, but still I am giving you means I am just giving you that this statement second, I am not sure about the statement second, but as far as the logic goes, this statement second seems to be incorrect one. Okay, so the statement 1 is perfect, and statement 2, for the statement 2 we have given you a star marked. So this is most likely to be incorrect statement. Okay, but still for a safer side we are not going to definitely conclude about the statement 2. So for this question we are giving you a star mark. We are going to place a star on this question because for the statement 2 we need to still search out or just to get to the correct information about the statement 2. Okay, now come to the next question. Just come to the next question, and the next question is related to. The next question is related to this one. We have the, so this is the next question, and the next question is related to consider the following countries: Bulgaria, Czech Republic, Hungary, and Latvia, Lithuania, and Romania. So this was a very predictable type of the question. ये काफी predictable question था कि भाई यूक्रेन के साथ साथ कौन कौन से कंट्रीज ऐसे हैं जो बॉर्डर शेयर करते हैं. तो ये काफी predictable सा क्वेश्चन है, और मुझे जहां तक लगता है कि इस क्वेश्चन के अंदर में कोई डाउट नहीं होना चाहिए, बिकॉज दिस क्वेश्चन इज वेरी मच प्रेडिक्टेबल, एंड दिस सीम्स टू बी because as far as the countries are concerned, you may be aware about the various countries that we have which are sharing the border with the Ukraine. यूक्रेन के साथ कौन कौन से कंट्रीज शेयर करते हैं, तो दैट इज बेलारूस हो गया, हंगरी हो गया, मालदोवा हो गया, पोलैंड हो गया, रोमानिया हो गया, रशिया हो गया, स्लोवाकिया हो गया. तो अब इसके अंदर में से हम लोगों में से देख लेते हैं कि कौन कौन से हैं जो शेयर करते हैं. तो हंगरी तो हो ही गया और रोमानिया हो गया. तो हंगरी एंड रोमानिया दैट सीम्स टू बी शेयरिंग द बॉर्डर्स with the Ukraine among all the given countries that we have. So Hungary and Romania. So this is going to be your answer in this case, Hungary and Romania. So you have only two countries. The question here is how many? How many? So how many of the above mentioned countries share a land border with the Ukraine? So in the above mentioned countries, we have only two countries, Hungary and Romania. So 3 and 6 and only 2 is going to be the answer in this case. Okay, only 2 is going to be the answer in this case. Now come to the next question. Next question number that we have, that is with reference to the Earth atmosphere, which of the following statement is correct? The total amount of insolation received at the equator is roughly about 10 times of that received at the poles. No, that is not a case. It may be 2 to 3 times, not 10 times. So it is exaggerated. So it may be 2 to 3 times, but not 10 times. So it can be. So this is a statement, wrong statement. Infrared constitute roughly 2/3 of the insolation. No, infrared do not constitute 2/3 of the insolation. We have a major part in the visible range. So this is also not going to be the correct answer, correct statement. Infrared waves are the largely absorbed by water vapor. Yes, water vapor acts as a greenhouse gases. You know that. And in most of the cases, they absorb the infrared radiation. So this is a correct answer. There is no problem in this one. Infrared waves are the part of visible spectrum. No, infrared waves are not the part of the visible spectrum. So this is again a wrong one. So in the 12th number question, your answer choice will be option C. So option C is going to be your answer choice in this 12th number question. Okay, now come to the next question. Now the next question is our 13th number question. Consider the following statement. Statement 1, soil in tropical rainforest is rich in nutrients. Now actually as far as the production of the nutrients is concerned in the tropical rainforest, that is good because of the high temperature and the moisture, and you have good humus content. Okay, but the problem in the tropical rainforest is a high amount of leaching. Because of the high rainfall, much of the nutrients are washed away. Okay, so this statement is going to be wrong. This we cannot take this statement to be as a right statement. Okay, and the highest temperature, high temperature and moisture in tropical rainforest causes dead organic matter in the soil to decompose quickly. So this is right. There is no problem in this one. This is going to be the right one. So statement 1 is wrong and statement 2 is right. So statement 1 is incorrect, but statement 2 is correct. So option D is going to be answer in this question. Okay. So now come to the next one. Come to this next one. The next question that we have is the 14th number question that we have. Let me check the, okay. Now the 14th number question. The temperature contrast between the continents and the ocean is greater during the summer than in the winter. Okay, now this is a bit conceptual question or a highly conceptual question because the temperature contrast between the oceans is greater, between the continents and the ocean is greater during the summer and the winter. So generally we attempt this question with some common sense notion. Okay, but sometimes your common sense notion may make you wrong. Okay, so in this question, always remember that the temperature contrast is more during the winter rather than in the summer. Okay, so the temperature contrast is more in the winter rather than in the summer. So so this is going to be the wrong statement. Okay, now specific heat of the water is more than that of the land. This is right. There is no problem in this one. So the answer for this 14th number question is going to be option D. There is no problem in this one. This is going to be ऑप्शन डी. ओके, बिल्कुल सही कहा तुमने कि एलिमिनेशन टेक्निक जो है वो यूपीएससी ने आप लोगों की खत्म कर दी है। जो पहले एलिमिनेशन टेक्निक से हम क्वेश्चन को सॉल्व करा करते थे या स्टूडेंट्स को भी सजेस्ट करते थे स्ट्रैटेजीज के बारे में कि भाई एलिमिनेशन टेक्निक यूज कर लो और आप क्वेश्चन को सॉल्व कर सकते हो, अब यूपीएससी ने वो आपका जो मेथड था ना एलिमिनेशन का वो उड़ा दिया है। ओके, क्योंकि यूपीएससी हमेशा आप लोगों से ज्यादा एडवांस रहेगा। ओके, एंड यूपीएससी हमेशा सरप्राइजेस लेके आता है, और पढ़ाने वालों के लिए भी सरप्राइजेस होते हैं और पढ़ने वालों के लिए तो होते ही होते हैं। जो पढ़ाने वाले हैं उनके लिए भी कई बार सरप्राइजेस जो होते हैं वो मिलते रहते हैं। ओके, एंड दिस इज व्हाट यूपीएससी मेक्स एवरीवन टू वर्क हार्ड। Okay, it's not only about the student who work hard, even the educators or the teachers who are guiding in this field or involved in this field of coaching, they are also working equally hard, because it is all about the dynamic nature of the UPSC, which keeps on which keeps on bringing the challenges in front, not only for the student but also for the coaching institutes also, and also for the teachers who are involved in guiding the students. ओके, सो नेक्स्ट ये सिंपल क्वेश्चन आ गया, ये बिल्कुल सिंपल क्वेश्चन आ गया। कंसिडर द फॉलोइंग स्टेटमेंट, इन अ सीस्मोग्राफ P waves are recorded earlier than the S waves. Yes, this is right, there is no problem in this one. And P waves, that is a longitudinal waves. So P waves, the individual particles vibrate to and fro in the direction of the propagation wave. This is the characteristics of a longitudinal wave. And whereas in the S waves, the particles vibrates up and down at a right angle to the direction of the wave's propagation. Yes, this is also a right statement. So in this case, both 1 and 2 is going to be your answer choice. यानी कि option C is going to be your answer choice in this case. Okay, now come to the next question. Now just come to this next question with reference to coal-based thermal power plants. Consider the following statement. None of them uses seawater. वी डोंट हैव, बहुत सारे तो नहीं है सी वाटर पे बेस्ड, बट कुछ प्राइवेट के अंदर में ऐसे हैं जो गुजरात के अंदर में, जैसे मुद्रा थर्मल पावर प्लांट है, वो सी वाटर बेस्ड है. सो व्हेन इट सेड दैट नन ऑफ देम, तो ये गलत हो जाएगा कि वी से दैट इट इज अ नन ऑफ देम, सो इट इज नॉट नन ऑफ देम. So this is wrong. We have in Gujarat and that is based on a sea water, and none of them is set up in the water stress districts. यही तो सबसे बड़ी प्रॉब्लम है कि कोल थर्मल पावर प्लांट्स जो हैं वो बहुत सारे वाटर स्ट्रेस डिस्ट्रिक्ट्स के अंदर में करे गए हैं, जैसे नागपुर में है, चंद्रपुरा में है, कई सारे ऐसे वाटर स्ट्रेस डिस्ट्रिक्ट्स हैं जहां पे कोल थर्मल पावर प्लांट्स जो हैं वो लगाए गए हैं. सो ये भी गलत हो जाता है. And none of them is privately owned, ये भी गलत है. We have privately owned thermal power plants, coal thermal power plants also, which are privately owned. So your answer choice is going to be which of the following, how many of the above statements are correct? How many? So none of them is correct in this case. Okay, now come to the next one, and consider the following activities. Spreading finely ground based basaltic rock on farmland extensively, increasing the alkalinity of the ocean by adding the lime, and capturing carbon dioxide released by the various industries and pumping it into the abundant subterranean mines in the form of carbonated waters. Yeah, another question is about carbon capturing and sequestration. Carbon capturing and sequestration. Okay, now this is right. This is a newly discovered method in which a basaltic rocks can be utilized. If we spread the basaltic rocks, so they have a potential of absorbing the carbon dioxide in their pores. So that could help in the capturing of the carbon. So this is a newly developed method, and or you can say it is a newly discovered method in which a basaltic rocks can be utilized to capture the carbon of the atmosphere, and increasing the alkalinity of the ocean by adding them. Yes, this is also possible. If you increase the alkalinity, then there will be more reaction with the weak carbonic acid. Okay, and that there is more chances of the convergence of bicarbonate. So that is also there by increasing the alkalinity. That is also possible, and capturing carbon dioxide, that is also possible. This is the right one. So in this case, your answer choice is going to be how many may. All of the three is going to be your answer choice. Okay, so all of them is your answer choice. So all the three. Okay, now come to the next question. Okay, come to the next question, and the next question is, consider the following statement. Switzerland is one of the leading exporter of the gold in terms of the value. Okay, so Switzerland is one of the leading exporter. Okay, so अभी recently report भी थी इस चीज को लेके, तो ये बिल्कुल राइट स्टेटमेंट है, इसमें कोई दिक्कत नहीं है इस स्टेटमेंट के अंदर में. इस टाइम स्विट्जरलैंड इज अ लीडिंग एक्सपोर्टर. और जहां तक हम रिजर्व की बात करेंगे तो रिजर्व सबसे ज्यादा यूएसए में है, फिर जर्मनी के अंदर में है. तो ये सेकंड स्टेटमेंट जो होता है वो गलत हो जाता है. सो योर फर्स्ट स्टेटमेंट इज करेक्ट एंड द सेकंड स्टेटमेंट इज इनकरेक्ट इन दिस केस. ओके, now come to the next question. This is a very simple one. Jhelum river passes through the Wooler lake. This is right, there is no problem in this one. Jhelum river passes through the Wooler lake. अगर आपने थोड़ा सा इंडियन ज्योग्राफी के बारे में अगर आपने पढ़ा होगा तो आपको ये पता होगा, it passes through the Wooler lake. And Krishna river directly feeds Koleru lake. Koleru lake actually comes between the Krishna and Godavari. So Krishna river do not directly feeds the Koleru lake. And meandering of the Gandak river formed Kanwar Lake. Yes, this is there. This is the Kanwar Lake in Bihar, and this is a very important one. And because of the Oxbow Lake, you can call it to be as an Oxbow Lake of Gandak River. So this is right. There is no problem. So how many of the statement given above are correct? So 1 and 2. So only 2 is going to be your answer in this case. Now come to the next one, and come to the next one. Next discussion that we have, next question that we have, consider the following statement. India has more arable land than China. Okay, so that's okay, there is no problem. We have a factual base about this question. There is no problem. India has a more arable area than China, and the proportion of the irrigated area is more in India as compared to the China. This seems to be a incorrect one, because there is a more proportion, because China has extended its irrigation facilities to a larger percentage area, and this is what a problem in India also. So we are trying to expand and try to meet out our irrigation potential, even though we have a good irrigation potential, but the proportion of the irrigation is still less in comparison to the other countries. So this is going to be a wrong one, and the average productivity per hectare in Indian agriculture is higher than that in China. This is also wrong. Whether China के पास land कम है, लेकिन उसकी average productivity India से बहुत ज़्यादा है. So how many of above them are the correct one? So only one can be taken to be as a correct answer in this case. Okay, now come to the next one. Come to the next question that we have. Which of the following is the best example of the repeated fall in sea level, giving rise to the present day extensive marshland? So when we look to rise in the sea, fall in the sea level, so Bhitarkanika do not seems to be a very influenced by the fall in the sea level. So in this question, I'm not sure about the right answer, but in my opinion, you can take Ran of Kutch or B or D. So B or D could be the answer in this case. B or D. Okay, so B or D can be taken, and this is one is salt pans and Tamil Nadu, and another one is Run of Kutch. So fall in the sea level, that is in the Run of Kutch, and Marakkanam salt pans, that is also associated with the fall in the sea level in the geological time, and they are also. So in my opinion, this is going to be B or D. Okay, so there could be a different answer, but on a safer side, I would say that we are not giving you a perfect answer for this 55 number question. So maybe in a day or two, in a 24 hours, we are going to update. We will give you a perfect answer for this 55 number question. Okay, but right now, prima facie, it seems that B or D should be the correct answer in this case. Okay, so come to the next question. And the next question that we have is the ilmenite and rutile abundantly available in certain coastal tracts of India, rich sources of which of the following? Okay, so titanium is the correct answer in this case. Okay, so the only answer that you can write down is the titaniums, because they are found into the coastal sands. So and recently they are found to be a good source of a titanium. So there is no problem. So it is a perfect answer. In this case, titanium is going to be the only answer in this case. And now come to the next question. And about 3/4 of the world's cobalt, a metal required from the manufacture of batteries for electric motors vehicle is produced by a very simple answer, very simple question. If you are aware about the current affairs and about the electric vehicle mobility, then Democratic Republic of Congo, and recently India also tried to have an association with DRCC so that we can have a good access to the cobalt reserves of Democratic Republic of Congo. So this is going to be your answer, Democratic Republic of Congo. There is no doubt in this answer. Okay, and come to the next question. And the next question that we have is which of the following is a part of Congo basin? Which of the following is a part of a Congo basin? I hope this is going to be a very simple one and very easy question for you, and you can answer it easily. Okay, so means Congo basin. So you know that. So Congo basin includes countries like Cameroon, Central African Republic, and then we have Democratic Republic of Congo, Equatorial Guinea, and Uganda. So here you need to choose only one. So the Cameroon is the something which is your perfect answer, or there is no doubt in this thing. This is 100% correct. Cameroon. Okay. Now come to the next one. Next question that we have. The next question. And consider the following statement: Amarkantak Hills are at the confluence of Vindhya, Sahyadri, and Sahyadri ranges. No, Vindhya is very far. Means it do not seems to be very. Means अगर किसी को basic sense भी होगी Indian geography की तो भी वो उसको immediately blindly इसको wrong कर देगा. Okay, so there is no problem in this one. तो ये एकदम से wrong हो जाता है. And Girirangam Hills constitute the eastern part of the Satpura ranges. No, Bilirangam Hills is in Karnataka. So do not have any Satpura range connection. So this is also not going to be. And those who are from the south, they are well aware about the Sesachalam Hills, Tirupati. Okay, so constitute the southernmost part of the Western Ghat. No, it comes a part of a Eastern Ghat. So again, this is wrong. So none of them is your correct statement. None of them the statement is the correct one. Okay, now come to the next one. Okay, so now we are going to have our discussion for environment. Okay, and I hope you people have attempted most of the questions correctly, and I wish you all the best. And we are also going to start our new sessions for 2024. And those who are interested for if you are aware about, means if you feel that you are going to qualify, and if you are having a score around somewhere between 85 to 90, then I must say that you are on a safer side, because this question paper seems to be bit above the average level. So I think the cutoff should be between 85 to 90, but not at all in any case it is going to be more than 90. Okay. So if you are between 85 and 90, then you are on a safer side, and you should start preparing for your next stage of examination, second stage of your examination, that is your mains examination. Okay. So we all people are here to help you for your mains examination, and even though those who have not done good in this paper, so I request them that start again. There is no problem, because and identify your mistakes, and keep these challenging aspects of the UPSC always in your mind, okay, while your preparation. Okay, so you can anytime, UPSC is full of surprises, so be prepared for such surprises, and keep on looking to the previous year questions on a regular basis. So that's all from my side, guys. Thanks a lot. Now our very dynamic faculty Rajwardhan sir will come and discuss with you with these concepts of environment and a part of science and technology. Okay, thanks a lot, guys. Bye bye.
Hello everyone. So we will be discussing about questions of environment firstly, and then we'll discuss about questions of science and technology. So if we talk about environment questions in general, they are difficult questions. They are not that easy questions. So let's say last year in last prelim examinations, if someone is able to solve, let's say 6 questions out of 10, this time it is around 4 questions only 4 questions one can solve on the basis of standard sources that one refers to, right? So it is difficult. Questions from environment were difficult, and the elimination technique, as we were not able to use elimination technique, those questions become more difficult, right? So let us start with the questions. So we are referring to D series, D set. So question number 9 is the first question from environment. Consider the following statements. First, in India, the biodiversity management committees, BMCs, are key to the realization of the objectives of the Nagoya Protocol, right? So this statement is a correct statement, because BMCs, biodiversity management committees, they help us in fair and equitable sharing of benefits arising from the use of genetic resources, and that is what is the goal of or objective of Nagoya Protocol, and that's why first statement is a correct statement. Second, the biodiversity management committees have important functions in determining access and benefit sharing, including the power to levy collection fees on the access of biological resources within its jurisdiction, right? So this is again a correct statement. It has important function in determining access and benefit sharing, and also it has a power to levy collection fees on the resources under its jurisdiction. So both these statements are correct statements, and that's why answer is C. Question number 9, answer is C. Next question. Next question is question number 35. With reference to the role of biofilter in recirculating aquaculture system, consider the following statement, right? So biofilters, use of biofilters is a kind of bioremediation technique used in recirculating aquaculture systems. Let us consider the statements first. Biofilters provide waste treatment by removing uneaten fish feed, right? So if it is a bioremediation technique wherein living organisms are used, obviously they will be able to feed on uneaten fish food or fish feed, and that's why first statement is a correct statement. Second, biofilters convert ammonia present in fish waste in nitrate, right? So this is again a correct statement. The ammonia present in the waste of fishes in aquaculture will be converted into nitrate by microorganisms present in biofilters. Second is also correct. Third, biofilters increase phosphorus as nutrient for fish in water, right? So insoluble phosphorus is made soluble in water by biofilters, and that phosphorus which is made soluble can be used as nutrient by fishes, and that is how it acts as a source of nutrition for the fishes, right? So third statement is also correct statement, and because of these kind of options, questions have become more difficult. They are difficult, but they have become more difficult because of these kind of options. So answer of this question is C. All 3 are correct. Next now, question number 39. Question number 39. Consider the following statements regarding mercury pollution. First statement, gold mining activity is a source of mercury pollution in the world, right? So this statement is again a correct statement. Gold mining, yes, it leads to pollution of mercury. So first statement is a correct statement. Second, coal-based thermal power plants cause mercury pollution, right? So in coal-based thermal power plants also mercury is seen as one of the pollutants released after the processing of coal, right? So second statement is again a correct statement. Third, there is no known safe level of exposure to mercury. So this statement is relatively easy statement. Yes, there is no safe level for the exposure of mercury. Any exposure to mercury is considered as harmful, right? So all these 3 statements are again correct statements, and that's why answer is C. all 3. 39 answer is C. Next now 53 question, relatively easy question you can say. So 53, consider the following trees. First, jackfruit, in bracket they have given its biological name. So what we are supposed to find out, how many of the above are deciduous trees. So jackfruit is clearly not a deciduous tree, it is evergreen tree. So first is incorrect. Second, mahua, yes, mahua is a deciduous plant. Second is correct. Antique, common example of deciduous trees or plants is sal and teak. So teak is a deciduous tree. So second and third statements are correct, and that's why answer is B, only 2. So this was a relatively easy question. 53 answer is B, only 2. Next now 72. 72. Consider the following statements. So, two statements are there. First is, marsupials are not naturally found in India, right? So, marsupials are those animals that give birth to relatively ungrown baby, and that baby is grown in the bag that they have. For example, kangaroos are marsupials. So, marsupials, yes, they are not naturally found in India. We do not have marsupials in India naturally. First statement is correct. Second, marsupials can thrive only in montane grasslands with no predators. Again, incorrect statement. Marsupials are found in grasslands, they are found in even desert areas, right? So, second statement is incorrect statement. They have widespread habitat and they are not only found in montane grasslands. Second statement is incorrect. First is correct, and that's why C is the correct answer. Statement 1 is correct, but statement 2 is incorrect. 72 answer is C. Next now 73. Now this is again a relatively easy question. Invasive species specialist group that develops global invasive species database belongs to which of the following organization, right? So it is IUCN. IUCN mentioned in option A. Right, so answer of this question is A, the International Union for Conservation of Nature. 73 answer is A. 74. 74. Consider the following fauna, and what we are supposed to find out, how many of the above are generally nocturnal or most active after sunset. Right, so lion-tailed macaw, they are not nocturnal. Malabar civet, yes, they are nocturnal, and even sambar deer, they are also nocturnal. Right, so second and third statements are correct statements, and that's why answer is only 2. Fine, so 74, only 2 are correct, and that is Malabar civet and sambar deer. Next now 75. Now these questions are bit difficult questions, though they are one-liner questions, they are difficult. 75. Which of the following organisms perform waggle dance for others of their kin to indicate the direction and the distance to a source of their food, right? So waggle dance is performed by honeybees. Answer of this question is C. 75 answer is C. So this is bit observation based question. So you might not get any direct information on this kind of question. So 75 answer is C, honeybees. Next now 76. 76. Consider the following statement. So this question is on various properties of mushrooms. First, some mushrooms have medicinal properties, right? So this statement is a correct statement. Some mushrooms, yes, they have medicinal properties. First is correct. Second, some mushrooms have psychoactive properties, right? So this statement is also a correct statement. There are certain mushroom species which have psychoactive substances, and those mushroom species are also called as magic mushrooms. Second statement is also correct. Third, some mushrooms have insecticidal properties, right? So this statement is again a correct statement. There are mushrooms which have insecticidal properties. Fourth is fourth statement, some mushrooms have bioluminescent properties, right? So this statement is again a correct statement. There are mushrooms like honey mushroom which have bioluminescent properties. That means they glow during night. They glow during night, and that's why they are called as mushrooms with bioluminescent properties. So all these four statements or four properties of mushrooms are correct, and that's why answer is D, all four. 76 answer is D. Now this question 77 is bit tricky, and it is bit, means this question might not have one answer because it depends on the interpretation of the question, right? So let us consider the statements. 77 question, consider the following statements regarding the Indian squirrels. First, so now here they have not mentioned which Indian squirrels, so we'll have to consider Indian squirrels in generally, and that's why there may be multiple answers of this question. Question number 77, there may be multiple answers of this. First, they build nest by making burrows in the ground, right? So most of the Indian squirrels are tree dwellers. They make their nest on trees, but there are Indian squirrels. For example, you must have observed squirrels which stand on 2 feet and they observe their surrounding area. And those squirrels are ground squirrels, right? So for ground squirrels, they use burrows in the ground as their nest, and that's why first statement we'll consider here as correct statement, right? So first statement, as of now, I am considering correct. They build nest by making burrows in the ground. First statement I am considering correct as of now. Second, they store their food materials like nuts and seeds in the ground. Now these squirrels, Indian squirrels, are very possessive about or protective about their food, and that's why they protect their food from others, and hence they use these kind of strategies like storing food materials in the ground. So this is again a correct statement regarding Indian squirrels. Thirdly, third statement, they are omnivores, right? So this statement is correct statement. They are omnivores because they feed on both plant-based as well as animal-based diet, right? So all these three statements as of now I am considering correct, and that's why answer is C. But as I have told you, for this particular questions there may be other answers as well. 77, as of now I am taking answer as C. Next question. 78, consider the following statements. First, some microorganisms can grow in environments with temperature above the boiling point of water, right? So yes, there are certain microorganisms which are able to grow in high temperatures which may go beyond boiling point of water, right? So first statement is a correct statement. Second, some microorganisms can grow in environments with temperature below the freezing point of water, right? So there are certain microorganisms which are able to grow below freezing point temperature, and they are called as psychophiles, right? They are called as psychophiles. So second statement is again correct. Third, some microorganisms can grow in highly acidic environments with a pH below 3, right? So yes, this is again the case. There are certain microorganisms which are called as acidophiles, which are able to grow in environment where pH value is below 3, right? So all these three statements are again correct statements, and that's why answer is C, all three. 78, answer is C. Next question, 79. Which one of the following makes a tool with a stick to scare insects from a hole in a tree or a log of wood, right? So this kind of thing must be done by highly developed organism, right? And that's why answer is orangutan, right? This kind of technique is used by orangutans as well as chimpanzees. Fine. So answer is B. 79, answer is B. Next now, 80th question. Consider the following. So we have some usage of hydrofluorocarbons. We are supposed to find out which of these usage are correct. So yes, hydrofluorocarbons, that is HFCs, are used in aerosols. They are used as foam agents then fire retardants, and also they are used as lubricants, right? So hydrofluorocarbons, that is HFCs, are used for all these uses, and that's why answer again is all 4. 80th question, answer is D, all 4. Next, 98. Now again, for this particular question, there may be multiple answers. 98. Consider the following statements. Once the central government notifies an area as a community reserve, which of these happen? Right. So, if central government designate a particular area as community reserve, what will be the impact? First, the chief wildlife warden of state becomes the governing authority of such forest. Right. So, this statement is a correct statement. CWW becomes the governing authority because CWW, chief wildlife warden, is an head or chief of all protected areas in that particular state, right? And community reserves are protected areas, and that's why first statement is correct. Second, hunting is not allowed in such area, right? So for these two statements, there is no problem, because if it is a protected area, obviously hunting will not be allowed. Second is again correct. Third, people of such area are allowed to collect non-timber forest produce, right? So when community reserves are notified, rights of people living inside that particular community reserve do not get affected. And that's why if that community reserve is being used by those people for collection of non-forest produce, this statement is again a correct statement. People of such area are allowed to collect non-forest, non-timber forest produce. Fine. So third statement is also a correct statement. Fourth now this statement makes this question difficult. People of such area are allowed traditional agricultural practices. Now, as we have discussed earlier, once community reserves are notified, people living in that particular area can continue their activities which they were doing earlier, right? So here, term traditional agricultural practices makes this statement difficult, because if traditional agriculture practices include shifting cultivation or jumming, will it be permitted? So it is not permitted, right? So these kind of activities, traditional agricultural activities or practices, are not permitted because those activities may be in the form of shifting cultivation, which may harm that community reserve. So fourth statement is incorrect, and that's why right now I am going with answer C. Only 3 statements are correct. First 3 statements are correct, fourth statement is incorrect, right? So as of now, for this particular question, answer is C. Fine. So that is about environment questions. So let me tell you once more, question number 77 and question number 98. As of now, I have gone with answer C for 77, and again answer C for 98th question, but it may change, right? So that is about environment and ecology. Now we will be moving to science and technology questions. So let us start with science and technology, and again set that we are referring here is set D. Now first question is bit simple question, because you must have read about Wolbachia bacterias and Wolbachia method, which is the method used to control population of mosquitoes. So answer of this question, 17th question, Wolbachia method is sometimes talked about with reference to which one of the following? It is talked about in the context of controlling the viral disease spread by mosquitoes. We will be able to control population of mosquitoes using Wolbachia method. 17th answer is A. Next question. 19th question, aerial metagenomics best refers to which one of the following situations? Now metagenomics is a technique to analyze genetic samples, right? It is a technique to analyze genetic samples collected from the environment. And what will be aerial metagenomics? It is analysis of genetic samples collected from air. Fine. So answer of this question is A, collecting DNA samples from air in a habitat at one go, right? So answer is A. 19th question, answer is A, collecting DNA samples from air in a habitat at one go. 19th answer is A. Next, 20th question, microsatellite DNA is used in the case of which one of the following? Now, microsatellite DNA is a pattern of DNA that repeats after every certain interval, right? It is a short pattern of DNA which repeats in the chromosome, fine, and this pattern can be used to know about inheritance, fine. So let us consider the question. Microsatellite DNA is used in the case of which one of the following? It is used for studying the evolutionary relationships among various species of fauna, right? Answer of this question is A. Microsatellites are repetitive patterns of DNA, and they are used for studying evolutionary relationships among various species. Answer is A. 20th question, answer is A. Next now, 33. Consider the following statements. First, carbon fibers are used in the manufacture of components used in automobiles and aircrafts, right? So carbon fibers are the polymers, and they, given their high strength, are used in automobile as well as aircraft industry, so that we'll be able to reduce weight of automobiles and aircrafts without compromising on strength. First is correct. Second, carbon fibers once used cannot be recycled. This statement is an incorrect statement. Carbon fibers can be recycled after their use, right? So first is correct, second is incorrect, and that's why answer is A, one only. 33, answer is A. 34. Consider the following action. So here we are supposed to find out which of the above, how many of the above actions is the function of accelerometer required, right? So accelerometer is a device that is used in various devices for measuring proper acceleration. For measuring proper acceleration, accelerometer is used. It measures, or it tries to understand the vibration, gravity of that particular device where it has been used, and it is being used in cars, mobile phones, laptops, where these questions or these statements are asked, on which these statements are asked. First, detection of car crash collision, which results in the deployment of airbag almost instantaneously. So this is based on vibration for which accelerometer is used, right? So this is the function where accelerometer is used for the detection of car crash collision. First is correct. Second, detection of accidental free fall of a laptop towards the ground, which results in the immediate turning of the hard drive, right? So in order to protect hard drive of our laptops, accelerometer is used, so that if let's say laptop is falling freely, hard drives will be shut down so that they will be protected. Second is correct. Detection is of accidental free fall of laptop towards the ground is possible using accelerometer. Third, detection of the tilt of the smartphone, which results in the rotation of display between portrait and landscape mode, right? So this is being used in our mobile phones, as a result of which our display get automatically adjusted with the position of mobile phone, right? So that is being done by accelerometer. So all these three are the uses of accelerometer, and that's why answer is C, all three. 34, answer is C. Next now, 35. Consider the following pairs, right? So there are pairs. On one hand we have objects in space, and on other their description, and we are supposed to find out which of the pairs are correctly matched. First is Cepheids. So Cepheids pair is incorrect, because what are Cepheids? They are stars with which brighten and dim periodically. They are the stars which brighten and dim periodically. So first should be matched with second in the description, and that's why first pair is incorrect. Second, nebula. What is nebula? Nebulas are giant clouds of dust and gas in space, right? So these two pairs are interchanged, and that's why they are incorrect. First and second pairs are interchanged, and that's why they are incorrect. Third, pulsars. They are neutron stars that are formed when massive stars run out of fuel and collapse, right? So this pair is a correct pair. Neutron stars Pulsars are the neutron stars which are formed because of the collapse of a massive star as it run out of fuel. Fine. So third pair is a correct pair, and that's why answer is A, 1 only. 36 answer is only 1. 37. Now this is a relatively easy question. Which one of the following countries has its own satellite navigation system? So answer of this question is Japan, that is D, and name of its navigation system is Quasi Zenith. Answer is D. 37, answer is D. 38. Consider the following statements. Again, this question is relatively easy question. First statement, ballistic missiles are jet propelled at subsonic speeds throughout their flight, while cruise missiles are rocket powered only in the initial phase of flight. These statements related to ballistic and cruise missiles are interchanged, and that's why first statement is incorrect. Ballistic missiles are not powered throughout their flight. They are rocket powered and they are powered only in the initial phase, while cruise missiles are jet powered and they are powered throughout their flight. First statement is incorrect. Second, Agni 5 is a medium range supersonic cruise missile. So you must be aware Agni 5 is intercontinental ballistic missile, and that's why it cannot be cruise missile. So again, second statement is incorrect. Agni 5 is a medium range supersonic cruise missile, while BrahMos is solid fueled intercontinental ballistic missile. Again, they have interchanged those statements. So both these statements are incorrect statements, and that's why answer is D, neither 1 nor 2. Next now, 40th question. With reference to green hydrogen, consider the following statements. Right. So this question was expected because green hydrogen was in news because of National Green Hydrogen Mission. Let us consider the statements first. It can be used directly as a fuel for internal combustion. Right. So it is not necessary that we have to use fuel cells for use of hydrogen. We can use hydrogen directly as fuel in internal combustion. First statement is correct. Second, it can be blended with natural gas and used as fuel for heat or power generation. So recently NTPC has established a plant in Surat where they have blended hydrogen with natural gas, and that's why second statement is also a correct statement. Third, it can be used in the hydrogen fuel cell to run vehicles. Right. So this is again a correct statement. We know that green hydrogen can be used in hydrogen fuel cells, so that we'll be able to use it as a fuel. Right. So these three statements are correct statements regarding green hydrogen, and that's why answer is C, all three. Question number 40, answer is C. So this is the last question of science and technology. So let us conclude our discussion of science and technology and environment. Again, some questions are really difficult questions, and because options are not regular, the options that we see in the examination, those questions have become more difficult. Fine. So cutoff obviously will be relatively lesser than 2020. Now economy discussion will be taken forward by Gaurav sir. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Okay, so now let us resume with the discussion with the Indian economy. Just give me 1 minute, please. Okay, so as we are aware, we are discussing the sequencing as per the set D. Okay, so the question number may vary if you have attempted another set, and I'm just updating this information. Now let us start with the questions. The first question say, consider the following statement with reference to India. According to the Micro, Small and Medium Enterprises, which we also call MSME, Development Act 2006, the medium enterprises are those with investment in plants and machinery between rupees 15 crore and 25 crore. So this option is wrong because this act has been updated and now the investment is considered to be between 10 to 50 crore, while the turnover is considered to be 250 crore, up to 250 crore. So that is the case here. Now, all bank loan So the first was incorrect. Second, all the bank loan to the MSME qualify under the priority sector. So this is correct. Okay. I couldn't think of an exception here, and all the loans that I could think of, they are as per the priority sector. And in case we can find an exception to this, because attempting such questions where a very strong claim is made, like all, these are very difficult to choose. But still, as of now, we have found that this is correct. So, answer is B, 2 only. Okay. Next question. With reference to CBDC, consider the following statement. Now, it is a question where it is very important that you read the first statement also and not just the options. See, with reference to CBDC, it is possible to make payment in digital currency without using US dollar of SWIFT system. Now, this was not possible before 2022 actually. Before 2022, if you wanted to purchase any CBDC, either you had to pay payment directly in dollar or through the SWIFT system if you are using other currencies. Now, last year, it was the digital ruble which was purchasable outside the SWIFT system, and all of us are aware Russia was cut out of the SWIFT system, so that necessitated that move. A lot of students would correct it if they did not read the first part correct. It is about CBDC, because otherwise you must be aware of cryptocurrencies. Cryptocurrencies can always be used for transactions, okay, even without using SWIFT or dollar. But this was a question in context of CBDC. So anyways, that doesn't affect the answer, but logic wise, that is how we should be attempting. So because of the recent development in Russia, this is correct. Second, a digital currency can be distributed with a conditioned program into such as time frame for spending it. That is very much possible, and the question is very clearly saying can be. It is not a very strong statement that should be distributed. Then it would be wrong. So obviously, this kind of adjustments, this kind of restrictions or conditions can be introduced within the digital currency. So this is also correct. Both 1 and 2. C is the answer. Okay, it seems some students are creating some noise outside. I had to ask them to keep quiet. Next question is question number 3. In the context of finance, the term beta refers to, the beta as a term has so many different variations. Software developer also use alpha, beta as a stage of the software development. Okay. The startups use beta as a various financing stage. In finance, the beta is a very popular indicator which tells us how a stock is changing with respect to the market. So answer in this case is D. It is a numeric value. Okay. So for example, let us say a particular stock changes by 3%. Let us say market changes meanwhile by 10%. And they are in the same direction. Means market fall by 10%, this falls by 3% only. So this stock is performing better than the market. Okay. So likewise, you look at this ratio to analyze the performance of the stock. So that is beta of a stock. So it is a well-known indicator, but not so popular in economics. It is strictly financial market terminology. And to be honest, we were not expecting UPSC to be asking such specific terminologies from the financial markets, because that way there are so many different terms that students do not cover, and even to be honest, institutions also do not teach, because we consider them to be too technical for fund managers or for the market specific people, not for UPSC. But now even we have to relook how many terms we need to cover, and such type of question actually makes the difficulty level even higher. Next question is 28. As I told you earlier, this is as per the set number D. The order of this question, the numbers can be different in other sets. Consider the following statement. India account for 3.2% of global exports of goods. Here you have to be very, very careful when you read again, because while 3.2% was actually used in this context in the recent survey, but 3.2% was not used for the goods. Goods is very important. Goods is basically merchandise trade or merchandise export. So share of merchandise export of India is barely 1.8 to 1.9%. But when we look at the goods and services export of India, then this ratio actually comes close to 3.1%. So overall actually is close to 3.2. But here we were asked about goods. That is why we have to be specifically using the goods data. So here if you misinterpret to be general export, you may get it wrong. Okay. If you look at just the services number, the services is 4.2% of the global export. Our service exports are almost 4.2% of the global exports, almost touching now $300 billion. Second statement, many local companies and some foreign companies operating in India have taken advantage of India's production linked incentive scheme. Now, is this correct? Yes, that is correct. Okay, so statement 2 is correct, the 1 is incorrect. And answer to the 28th would then be D. Statement 1 is incorrect, but statement 2 is correct. Okay. Next question. 49, I think. Yes. Consider the following industry which can be decarbonized through the green hydrogen. So in this case, all three can be decarbonized. Basically, in the fertilizer plant, we do create a lot of, or we do use a lot of hydrocarbon, and we do release a lot of GHG, greenhouse gases. But with introduction of green hydrogen, we can create ammonia without using hydrocarbons or by reducing their intensity. Hence, this can be decarbonized very, very easily. Just one second. Oil refineries, of course, because green hydrogen is a alternative, is a substitute for oil. So obviously it can be used. So oil refinery, very much possible. And the next, steel plants. So in case of steel plants, it is also correct, because in the production of steel also a lot of coal is used. Over there we can use the green hydrogen. So all three, green hydrogen has applications. Not that difficult, because green hydrogen has been mentioned many number of times by the Transport Minister, Mr. Nitin Gadkari, and hence it has been discussed across the newspapers. 52. Consider the following pairs: port and for what reason they are known for. Karamajar Port. Okay. Sorry, Kamarajar Port. My bad. Sorry. Kamaraja Port is the first port in India to be registered as a company. That is correct. It is also known as Ennore Port, very close to the Chennai port, essentially to decongest the Chennai port. So that is correct. It is the first major port in India to be registered as a corporate, or basically to be listed. Second, Mundra Port, largest privately owned port in India. That is also correct. Okay, first two are correct. Third, Visakhapatnam Port is the largest container port in India. Well, that is incorrect. The largest container port in India by very, very great margins, means the largest port has 4 times container traffic compared to Visakhapatnam. So Visakhapatnam is not even in competition, and that is JNPT. Okay, so JNPT is the largest container port in India. So answer will be B, only 2 pairs. Next is 60. With reference to India's projects on connectivity, consider the following statements. Okay, now let us look at these statements. We have to identify how many are correct. East-West corridor under Golden Quadrilateral project connects Dibrugarh and Surat. Well, if you would have read about it, this goes to almost extreme west, that is Porbandar. It goes almost up to Porbandar, and on the eastern side it goes up to Bongaigaon. So Dibrugarh, Surat are not the connecting points or the termination points. So the first is incorrect. Second, trilateral highway connects Moreh in Manipur and Chiang Mai in Thailand via Myanmar. So Chiang Mai over here is wrong because it was not Chiang Mai, it was a town known as Mai Sot. Chiang Mai is a very popular tourist destination in northern Thailand. Okay? Chiang Rai, Chiang Mai are very, very popular tourist destination. They are not yet connected. It is going up to Mai Sot. And Moreh is correct, but anyways, these questions are really tough, I agree. Okay, I'm not trying to be unreasonable with you by saying this was so easy that you could recall. It is really tough to remember all such details. Nonetheless, BCIM corridor connects Varanasi in Uttar Pradesh with Kunming in China. So Kunming part is correct, but Varanasi is incorrect. Over here it is Kolkata. Okay, so BCIM would be connecting Kolkata to the Kunming. Kunming is in Yunnan province. Yunnan province is on very, very southern part of China, very close to it. Is the most important, let us say, city along the South China Sea. And it is in fact from here the major river Mekong falls through China into Vietnam and then goes across various countries. Anyways, let's move to the next. All three are wrong here. Answer would be D, none. 61. Statement 1. Interest income from the deposit in infrastructure investment trust is distributed to investor is exempted from tax, but the dividend is taxable. This sounds really difficult because nobody is expected to know the fine detail of each and every scheme or government provision, but actually this was a trick question. Trick question as in they're talking about dividend being taxable, but actually if you are aware of the nature of the InvITs, and that one should be aware of because that is the basic information. UPSC should be asking question about basic information on the government schemes, not about the very, very specific technical aspects. Here the question is actually about basic aspect. What is the basic aspect? That InvITs are not for profit, and when any trust or a company is not for profit, then there is no question of dividends there. And when there are no dividends, where is the question of tax? So this is a trick question and you just had to recall that these are not for profit. So आपको एक बार बस ये समझना था ये not for profit है. If you could have got it, अगर आपको वो एक बार याद आ जाता है कि ये not for profit है तो वहाँ प्रॉफिट नहीं होंगे तो डिविडेंड नहीं होंगे और डिविडेंड जब नहीं होंगे तो उन पे टैक्स कैसे लगेगा. So that is why this statement is wrong. So you were not expected to know the technical detail. Just the basic information could have solved this statement. But still, it is in difficult category. InvITs are recognized as borrowers under SARFAESI Act 2002. That is also correct. And why this question is here? Because this was made very recent. Okay, this change was made very recently. Earlier, this was not there. It was not under SARFAESI Act. It was only through a recent amendment that it was added or it was made applicable for this. So in this case, first is wrong, second is correct. So it should be D for 61. Now, next question is 62. Now, in fact, they are in clear sequence. In the post-pandemic recent past, many central banks worldwide had carried out interest rate hikes. That is correct. Why countries did that? Because during the pandemic, they cut the interest. So obviously, after some time, they had to increase the interest rate. So when the major crisis was over, they started to increase the interest rate because it was too low and that was discouraging savings. And also they were facing inflation, so they wanted to increase the interest rate. So that is very well known development, and because it affected Indian rupee also. Second statement, central bank generally assume they have the ability to counteract the rising consumer prices via the monetary policy means. That is actually correct. Why it is correct? Because the central bank believe that monetary policy always work, and whether it is a crisis or not a crisis, they try out monetary policy. But there is a very prominent theory in economics, which is Keynesian economics or general theory of employment, which argue that during the recession or post-recession, economy is in liquidity trap and monetary policy may not work. Anyways, that is extra detail. The statement is correct. Both are correct. I will keep the discussion short because I know you're not in an interest to learn economics here. You just want to cross-check the answers and understand the answers. Not interested in lengthy discussions at present. And yes, in case you want to read the detailed answers, we have provided a very detailed key with long solutions with complete details and references. So those who are interested in complete details, they can download it through the description link. Next. 63. Carbon markets are likely to be one of the most widespread tool in the fight against climate change. That is correct. Obviously, in the fight against climate change, the system that we had during Kyoto Protocol or even during COP21, etc., that is carbon credit system. And that is definitely going to become even more important. The carbon credits are based upon the concept of Pigouvian tax. There was a great economist called Arthur Cecil Pigou, a contemporary of John Maynard Keynes. So he gave this concept, and according to which we use carbon taxes now. Now, statement 2 says carbon market transfer resources from private sector to state. Now, this is given as a general statement that it transfers. Okay, may transfer would be correct, but transfers resources or transfer resources, that is a very general statement and that would be incorrect because most of the transfer is supposed to be private to private. Even if state is collecting green tax in India, it is not for the state to consume. It is not like a tax. Okay, although it is collected like a green tax, but state must spend that money for resisting the climate change. Okay, for reversing the damages. The idea in Pigouvian tax was there is a one person who is causing harm to the environment. There is another person who is affected by the bad environment. Now, the person who is causing harm should pay and compensate the other person who is negatively affected. So state is merely the facilitator in this concept. State may collect the money from one, but it should give it back to two, or if it's not giving money to two, it should be reversing the impact of damages by one. So the second statement as per the theory is not going to be correct. On this question, there may be a debate, there may be a discussion where many other institutions may give you a different interpretation. So this is a very open-ended statement up to its interpretation, but I am using the theoretical base to use for the analysis here. So according to the theory of the Pigouvian tax, this should be incorrect. So in this case, one is correct and second is incorrect. Answer should be C. Next is 64. 64 is straightforward, that which of the following is considered to be part of sterilization? That is open market operation. Okay, open market operations are also called sterilization, particularly when it is used for supporting the currency, okay, or sustaining the currency, or let us say reducing the fluctuations in exchange rate. Then we particularly call it sterilization. Sterilization as a term means neutralization, that we are neutralizing something. For example, we might have heard of a term called sterile man or sterile person, sterile women. Those who are not able to reproduce, okay, they are called sterile. So neutral in a way. So this operation can neutralize the damages due to the excessive dollar purchase or sale in the market. So that is why they are called sterilization. 65. Consider the following market. This is also an easy question like the previous one. Which of the following are included in capital market? So we know the basic criteria is money market have up to 1 year maturity. Capital market has more than 1 year maturity. So government bond market is typically more than 1 year. Call money market is 1 day, 24 hours, up to 24 hours. Treasury bill market, okay, this is up to 14 day, 91 day, 182 day, 364 days, okay. And stock market virtually has no expiry date, okay. So treasury bill, call money, they are less than 1 year, so they are money market. 1 and 4 are capital market, so answer should be B, only 2. '66. Which of the following best describe the concept of small farmer, large field? So this is a pure factual question about a scheme, so I will not be going into the discussion here, okay. So this is a group lending scheme, okay, targeted group lending scheme, and answer here is B. Many marginal farmers in an area organize themselves in group and synchronize and harmonize selected agriculture operations. So that is the answer. Rest you can check out in the hint for complete reference and details. 67. The government of India provide minimum support price for Nijo. Okay. Now, this particular crop, which is not a very popular crop across India, it's a small black color rice-like crop, which is used for producing oil, and it is a kharif crop. So in this case, actually all of these are correct, because this is one of the 14 kharif crop for which MSP is given. In India, we give MSP on 22 crops. 14 are kharif crops, and one of them is this Nijo. And this, of course, as I said already, it is a kharif crop and it is used for oil production. So, and largely by tribal people. This crop has a certain headquarter in Jabalpur, not Raipur. So, over there is a nodal agency for this. So, in this case, all three were correct. 68. Consider the investment in following assets. Okay. Tangible and intangible investment is what we have to identify. What is tangible investment? Which is physically visible, verifiable, weightable, which has a certain mass. And what is intangible? Which is not visible, but still very important. Okay. So, what is tangible here? Brand recognition. Brand recognition is not something that you can physically observe and see, but yes, it is there and it is very important asset. More than plant, machinery, size, asset, it is the brand recognition which is far more valuable. Okay. So, one is intangible. Inventory. The inventory is the stock. So, obviously that is tangible. We can physically see the stock. It has a mass. It is visible. Third, intellectual property. Okay. So, these are also intangible. Fourth, mailing list of clients. Okay. So, basically buying contact information for marketing purpose, even this is also intangible. Okay. So, 1, 3 and 4, they are intangible, and answer then would be C, 3. 69. Consider the following. This is also easy question. So 67, 8, 9, in fact 66 also, they are relatively easy questions. Consider the following, and which of them are used as a criteria for horizontal tax devolution by the 15th Finance Commission, other than population area and income distance. In this case, demographic performance is 1, forest and ecology is 1, and tax and fiscal effort is 1. Government reforms. How can you measure reforms? In this question, you could actually eliminate. This is perhaps the only question in economy where you could eliminate. Reforms is not something for which you can measure objectively. So, you can't really put it into formula. Stable government. These kind of parameters cannot be used, okay, because these are used for sovereign governments, not for state. So, for bond rating, stability is important, but not for the state's horizontal tax devolution. So, this is a parameter which is never going to be used or can't be used for states. So, 3 and 4 actually you could eliminate. Okay? One of the rare question here. and otherwise you could solve it on the basis of memory also. Finance commission is too important a topic, and this is a very common information which you are expected to know. So in this case, B only 3. Even if you would know that there are 5 criteria and you are already given 2 here, then also you could recognize that it is 3. So B is the answer. Consider the following infrastructure sector. So this is a pure factual question about S3I, which was in news because of a massive scandal at UN. There was a multi-million-dollar scandal in the United Nations last year, and that was regarding the S3I initiative. And this S3I initiative is in 3 areas: affordable housing, healthcare, and renewable energy. It is not for the mass rapid transport. So it will be only 3 here, C. Last question for economy, and bit of a tricky question, I would say. India, despite having uranium deposit, depends upon coal for most of its electricity production. So in fact, those of my students know how much I stressed upon the coal this year, because our coal usage was going down every year, but last year our coal usage increased because we had a sudden heat wave in March last year, after which government decided to increase the share of coal. So this was a very important development actually. Anyways, so yes, we are dependent on coal for majority of our energy production, that is correct. And India, despite having uranium deposit, now India does not have uranium deposit. As a general statement, we can't accept that India has uranium deposit. Okay, we have very, very small, very insignificant deposits, and that actually we may have for every mineral, very, very small or insignificant deposits. As a general statement, it should be wrong, but there is no option actually, okay, where both would be wrong, because statement 2 is also wrong. So in this case, we have to select it to be correct. Anyways, let us solve it full, you will identify. Statement 2 is uranium enriched to the extent of at least 60% is required for the production of electricity. That is incorrect. You need it to be enriched at a very, very high grade, okay? About 99% enrichment is required, not 60%. Okay, so statement 2 is clearly wrong, but there is no option which is saying both are wrong. So in this case, since 2 is very clearly wrong, in the case of 1, we were in bit of doubt whether we accept that as a general statement or not. So we have to accept this to be correct. In this case, since 2 is clearly wrong, we have to accept that statement 1 is correct, statement 2 is incorrect, as there is no other suitable option. So B would be the answer in this case. Sorry, not B, C would be the answer in this case. And with this, we have concluded the Indian economy part. The next section would be the history and art and culture. So let us start with that session.
हेलो एस्पिरेंट्स, आई होप आप सबका एग्ज़ाम बहुत बढ़िया गया हो। हालांकि थोड़ा लेंदी पेपर था, बट स्टिल देयर आर ब्राइट चांसेस दैट दोज हु हैव रेड इट वेरी diligently would have performed better, and I hope आप सबका पेपर बहुत अच्छा गया हो and you all get qualify and have a chance to write the mains. I will take the discussion on history part, and myself Ashutosh Nath Jha, and let's begin the session here. The first question we have in front of us, and the set is D here. With reference to the Indian history, Alexander Rear, A.H. Longhurst, Robert Seville, James Burgess, and Walter Elliot were associated with, we have given the 4 options here: archaeological excavations, establishment of press in colonial India, establishment of churches in princely states, and construction of railways in colonial India. Friends, these 4 names, Alexander Ray, Elliot, Robert Swell, are mainly associated with option A, archaeological excavations. They have conducted a wide excavations in the southern part of India, and in their excavations they conducted at Bhatripolu, Ghantasala. These were a form of main part of their excavation at Ghantasala and Amravati, and these names are associated with archaeological excavation. So the answer is A here. Next question. Question number 22nd. We have to consider the following pairs in front of us. The state has been given here, and with the state we have to match what they are well known for. Base Nagar, Saivite Save Shrine, Cave Shrine, Bhaj, Buddhist Cave Shrine, Sitan Vasal, Jain Cave Shrine. How many of the above pairs are correctly matched? Aspirants, the Base Nagar is not a Shaivite cave shrine, but it's a part of Vasudeva or Vaishnavism. When Ambassador Heliodorus visited India, he erected a pillar in which there was a sculpture of Garud was there, and in this pillar he said that he dedicate this pillar to Vasudeva. So this option Base Nagar is incorrect. Fine. So we cannot have all 3 pairs here correct. Bhaja is a very famous Buddhist cave shrine, is one of the masterpiece of cave architecture of Buddhist. Fine. Sitan Bansal is again a Jain cave shrine. The period of Buddhist cave shrine we can take is 2nd AD, and the Sintal Vashal is also from 1st to 2nd AD. Fine. In this Sitan Vashal, I have taken the previous session also. We are finding some Jain monks collecting a lotus from ponds, and this depiction is very profoundly mentioned in this Sintan Valsal cave shrine. So only 2 pairs are correctly matched here. Answer would be B. 22nd, the answer is B. Fine. Next question is 23rd number. It's a kind of much easier question which were very minimal today in UPSC exams. Statement 1 is 7th August is declared as National Handloom Day. Fine. Those who have read current affairs or they have came across this term handlooms and the National Handloom Day, and it was in 2015 which the day it was declared as National Handloom Day. And statement 2, a historical background is there, that it was in 1905 that the Swadeshi movement was launched on the same day. Fine, it's correct, because on the 7th of the August 1905 the Swadeshi movement in the very famous Calcutta town hall was launched, and it was observed that we will boycott the foreign clothes. And in this regard, this National Handloom Day gained prominence, that this is declaring the 7th August, that very famous day, as National Handloom Day for promoting the Swadeshi goods. So our answer would be A. Both statement 1 and 2 are correct, and 2 is the correct explanation of statement 1. So let's see the next question here. Question number 81. Question number 81. In which of the following reasons was Dhanya Katak Dhanyakataka. Now it's a term used here, or is a place which flourished as a prominent Buddhist center under the Mahasangika is located. Aspirant, this is located in Andhra Pradesh. Why? Because Chinese traveler Huanzhang, in his memoirs, in his account, gives a detail for this center. He says that this is the prominent Buddhist center as a learning center, and it consists of cave shrines, it consists of Buddhist it's a kind of Buddhist pilgrimage site, and Mahasangikas were the part of the Mahayanas. And he also said that Mahayana was in very flourished at that moment of time, and this Dhanyataka was later developed as a capital city of Satavahanas during that period. And further we can see that this place Dhanyataka, during in the southern India, we are finding the evidences of Buddhism which gained prominence during the Ashokan times. When he took the Ashokan and his messages to the Amravati, we are also finding some evidences of Ashoka stupas from Amravati. And in this regard, the question has been asked to test the depth and width of the candidate for the southern part of the prevalence of Buddhism in the southern part of India. Fine. So our answer would be Dhanyakataka, mentioned by Huanzhang, and it was form of a Mahasangika, form of Mahayana Buddhism. Fine. So this answer A is correct here. So next question in front of us is question number 82. The question says, with reference to ancient India, consider the following statements. The concept of stupa is Buddhist in origin. Second statement, the stupa was generally a repository of relics, seems correct. The stupa was a votive and a commemorative structure in Buddhist traditions. Now it's a bit trickier question because it's asking about the origin of the concept of stupa. Now, according to archaeologists and the recent researches, archaeologists have recorded that the origin of a stupa is more likely in the pre-Buddhist era, because we are finding some kind of mounds of Sharmanas also, and in the prehistory we are finding a kind of mound of megaliths. So the tradition of a stupa must have came from this part of mounds burials, and thus archaeologists say that this concept of a stupa is not a particular Buddhist in origin. Fine. Why this is not origin? Because it's more kind of pre-Buddhist era. Pre-Buddhist era. Is that clear? So first is incorrect. A stupa was generally a repository of relics. As you all know, a stupa denotes the collection of relics or the earthly objects or materials which were used by Buddha or Bodhisattvas, and they have been stored. So this statement 2 is correct. Stupa was votive, third statement, and commemorative structure. What is this votive? Recently there was a news which came in the month of December or January, in which archaeologists have in the ASI has excavated the burials or the earth inside the Nalanda Mahavir complex, and in this complex they have found that there are a number of votive stupas. Votive stupa means a terracotta or a small piece of stupa, fine, which they dedicate as a symbol of votive or vows, called vows, which they dedicate at the shrine. And this was a tradition which started, we can see from the 7th AD, that keeping of small terracotta form of stupas as a votive measures and a commemorative structure in Buddhist tradition. So statement 3 is also correct. So we have 2 and 3 are correct here. So answer would be B, only 2 are correct. Question number 82, option is B. Next question is question number 83. As you can see here, with reference to ancient South India, Korakai, Pomfua and Muchiri or Muziri were well known as. UPSC is also always asking such type of question related with the Sangam period, but social economic background or social economic influence of the Sangam period, because we have read all about Sangam period traditions, literatures, but somewhere intelligent question have been framed asking about the locations and the famous ancient ports. So answer is ports. They were all served as a port for trade and international trade. And this Korakai, Pompur was from Chola, Mujiri or Muchiri from Chera, and Korakai is from Pandya. This word from the Pandyans, from Chera, and this is from Chola. So here we can see the answer is 83 B, ports. Next question. Question number 84. This was a bit tough question, and again from the Sangam period, and it was drafted in a way to check the understanding or the depth of how you read the Sangams, and you will find this kind of questions, this kind of text terms in NCRTs or Tamil Nadu NCRTs and other standard books. Fine. So the question is, which of the one of the following explains the practice of which of the following explains the practice of Vata Kirutal as mentioned in the Sangam poems? Sangam poems mostly deals, or one of the part of the Sangam poem deal with the valor or the offerings of the warriors, how they fought, their sacrifices, and you will find one term which deals with this valor and sacrifices made by the kings. Let's see the options here. Kings employing women bodyguards. No, it's incorrect statement. Learned persons assembling in royal court to discuss religious and philosophical matters. It's incorrect here. Young girls keeping a watch over agricultural fields, driving away birds and animals. No, incorrect. Option D, you will see very clearly that a king defeated in a battle committing ritual suicide by starving himself to death. So this option D here is correct, because in this Sangam poems, this ritual has been mentioned as a when a king was defeated or he suffered a defeat. So as a part of valor or as a part of sacrifice, he commits a suicide, and along with him, several other close members of him or his close kin and kith were also joined by the king in doing the Vata Kirutal. Fine. So answer here is D. It's okay. So 84, answer is D. Question number 85. The question number 85 is about considering, we have to consider the following dynasties. UPSC since last 3 years is asking the question about the medieval era dynasties, or the early medieval or later medieval era dynasties and their names, and they are just for the purpose of getting your approach and understanding to read the history, because we read the main part, polity, history, economy, but we tend to ignore the names of the dynasties and their time period. So we'll categorize it as a medium level question. The first is Hoysala, Gadwalas, Kakatiya, Yadavas. How many of the above dynasties established their kingdoms in early 8th century AD? Now focus on the time period. Many would have confused with Yadavas and Gadwalas. Well, the time period of Hoysala we can take from 10th to 14th century AD in the region of Kannadiga or Karnataka. Gadwalas were Rajputs, and their time period is around 12 AD. Is that clear? Kakatiyas, very well known. They form a part of Tamil Nadu, Odisha, Andhra, etc. in Karnataka also, and their time period from 12th century AD. So none of them are qualifying in the 8th century. It means 8th century denotes from 700 AD onwards. Yadavas. Now Yadavas also came during the period of from the, we can say, 12th, 11th or 12th century. So in this sense, we can say that all of the four mentioned are not from the 8th century. The Yadavas mainly dominated from the river Narmada to Tungabhadra. The Yadavas were dominating from Narmada to Tungabhadra, and they were from the 12th century. So none of the above are from the 8th century AD. Is that clear? The detailed explanation you will get in our answer key. You will go and see and download the forms there of the whole answer key we have given for you aspirants. And with regard to the next question, question number 86, with reference to ancient Indian history, consider the following parts: given literary work and the author. Devi Chandraguptam, very famous one, not by Bilhana but by Vishakha Dutt. Fine. It's a kind of political drama. Hamira Mahakavya. Now it's by Nyaya Chandra Suri, and it's Sanskrit treatise, and he was a Jain scholar. Nyaya Chandra Suri was a Jain scholar. Fine. And the period we can say is from the 15th century. It has been compiled in 15th century. Milinda Panha or Milinda Pano, famously known, not by Nagarjun. The name has been given to confuse the new aspirants, and that's why UPSC is highlighting that you have to read very carefully. Not by Nagarjun but by Nagsen. And what it's based on? It's based on the conversation between Nagsen and Milinda, the Greek king. Is that clear? Niti Kavya Mitra. So Milind Pana is not there. Chandragupta is not there. Niti Kavya Mitra. Now this Niti Kavya Mitra is a treatise on Niti, or the polity, or the kind of rule book on what should form our Niti. And it's written by Somdev Suri, again a very famous Jain scholar. He wrote the Niti Kavamrita in the 10th AD. It was written by him in the 10th AD. So only two pairs are correctly matched. So our option is B. 86 ka B. Only two pairs are correctly matched. Let's look at the next question we have in front of us. It's 87. Very interesting. Now Jainism is becoming a favorite of UPSC. We are seeing 3-4 questions on Jainism. Souls are not only the property of animal and plant life, but also of rocks, running water, and many other natural objects not looked as living by other religious sects. The above statement reflects one of the core beliefs of which of the following religious sects of ancient India? Friends, you can tell me in the answer. However, I will give you answer here is Jainism. They form of the core idea of Jainism. Jainism regards the soul at Jiva, that it has a living being. It has a living entity, Jiva. On the other hand, Vaishnavism, we can't say Vaishnavism because in Hinduism we regard the Atma, fine, Atma as a living entity. But Jainism goes a step forward and it says that rocks, running water, and many other natural objects which are not looked upon by the religious act living, they are also living beings. They have also a soul, but there is a catch, or there is a conditionality which was imposed by the Jainism, that only Jiva, those like humans, have the capability of achieving the Jina or becoming Jina or the Kevalin or the Jnani person, the intellectual one. Though all have the souls, but only human beings can become Jina or the Kevalin or attain Kevalin. Fine. So our answer here is Jainism. In Jainism, of course, I have told you that soul is called Jiva, and we can find the soul in running water and many other natural objects. Is that clear? Because you can see in Jainism, they also have a tradition of not. They have a traditional like Swetambara have a tradition of putting a cloth on the mount. They sweep the floors before walking on the roads. So one can assume that such kind of philosophical knowledge or the core belief was emphasized by Jainism. Let's look at the question number 88. Question number 88 is about Vijayanagar, of course, one of the favorite of UPSC. Who among the following rulers of Vijayanagar Empire constructed a large dam across Tungabhadra River and a canal cum aqueduct several kilometers long from the river to the capital city? Very interesting question and very famous also, because this large dam across the river Tungabhadra was constructed by Devraya I of Sangama dynasty. He was from the Sangama dynasty. The social economic part of the Vijayanagar has been asked here, linked with art and culture. So Devraya I has constructed the dam across the Tungabhadra river, and he has built an aqueduct several kilometers, like from it was 24 km long. You can imagine the distance it covered, that connected river to the capital city. And this interesting information is provided by traveler Nunes. Traveler Nunes provide this interesting information that this dam which was built, an aqueduct which connected the river to the capital, brought prosperous to the citizens. Is that clear? So answer would be here Devraya I, of course. Question number 89. The question number 89. Who among the following rulers of medieval Gujarat surrendered Diu to the Portuguese? Of the four state options we have Ahmad Shah, Muhammad Beghara, Bahadur Shah and Muhammad Shah. Out of this four statement, we can say that Ahmad Shah was not, because Muhammad Beghara we have not heard of. Bahadur Shah is the answer here. Why? Because during after the Bahadur Shah and the Bahadur Shah, the Sultan of Gujarat, who was attacked or invaded by Humayun, he thought that it is better to have a friendship with the Portuguese, who are a brilliant naval force and they are a new force, and they will help him to curtail the invasion, to minimize the impact of invasion, and they will provide a security. And in this regard, we can see that Bahadur Shah has ceded by the Treaty of Bassein, in 1534. In 1534, he gave the island of Diu to Portuguese. Daman and Diu, Dadra Nagar Haveli, which was essentially merged as a UTs, were constantly coming in news, and that's why a backgrounder question on this was asked related with history, and the answer is Bahadur Shah, who have given this. Further, we can see that in the year 1559, the Daman island was also given to the Portuguese. Fine. So answer here C, 89, C, Bahadur Shah. Let's see the next question, the last question for history, because only 13 questions have been asked in the section of history. Which of the following act was the Governor General of Bengal designated as the Governor General of India? Friends, in the previous mock session, mock 1, we have asked the question about 1861, but while giving you a backgrounder, I have discussed about that in the Charter Act of 1833, which was a height of centralization. Answer here is Charter Act 1833. Why? Because it designated the Governor General of India, Bengal, as the Governor General of India, and this act is considered as the height of centralization. Why? Because this is the first point, and second point was that it mixed the subordinated the Madras province and Bombay province within the Governor General of Bengal, and this act was also called the height of centralization. and it designated Governor General of Bengal as Governor General of India. This was a relatively easier question. On the whole, we can see that the history section was having less number of questions, only 13 questions, but easier question were 3 or 4, and most of the questions were either linked with medieval and ancient, and they were linked with the art and culture. So I hope you all have given your exams and you can match your answers key from here, and I wish you all the best for the future. Thank you very much.